Alright, hello everybody and welcome to another Minecraft Musings. I'm your host A-Rye, and this is Wizard Living is Supreme. And women can be wizards too. Definitely. Alright, so, sorry, that wasn't a sarcastic thing, that was just like one of the things that's always bothered me about the Harry Potter series, like witches. Like, nah, they're wizards too, whatever. It could be a term, gender neutral term, just apply to all magical people. Anyways, then you get into the halflings and then the goblins and the ogres and the orcs, and I'm just kidding. But I wanted to do something completely different. So last couple of episodes, well, actually not that one this morning. That one this morning was pretty nice. It was just a fun, quick 15 minute. I don't even remember what I talked about. I just remember it was good. I think I was showing this thing off. But now it's after work. I'm relaxing. And we talked about Christianity the last couple of episodes. It was probably uncomfortable for a lot of people. I'm just kidding. There's only like a few views on these right now. But in the future, if these things take off, that's going to be an uncomfortable subject for a lot of people. And that's one big thing I want to do is kind of fix that because there's so much good in Christianity and Islam and Judaism. There's just a little bit of crazy and a little bit of crazy and a little bit of crazy. And I attribute that to just poor communication skills. I mean, not really poor as in like they weren't doing the best they could, but with technology the way it is now, we can instantly correct and fact check ourselves and each other, and should. We should not fall for anything. Like I think that's why I love Better Call Saul so much, is because it's like it just shows how messed up things can get if you fall for a con artist, and not just a con artist like to pigeonhole someone into that, be like that's all they can ever be, because that's a crock of horse pucky, whatever. Hold on. Sorry. But anyways, uh, everyone can change. They need to want to change. Hearts and minds, push versus pull. They have to want it. And sometimes it takes some pretty extreme situations to make them want it. Or also it could just take them turning, 30. Like for your mid to late 20s, everybody's kind of a little not their best. Let's see. So anyways, I wanted to start off with a very clean. Let's get a sign. Do we have any sign? I think I saw some signs somewhere. Um, I should centralize all the non-buildings. Oh, there we go. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, so. So that's all that. Clear and where's that ampersand? I love using the ampersand. Use it a lot in programming. Clear and transparent. Oops. Transparent voting. Is this gonna fit? How's that look? Hmm. So it's either hanging off up there or up there. Yeah, that's good. Clear and transparent voting. And now, let us go listen to the melodic music while we write this. So, it needs to have a few things. So I was actually overcomplicating this earlier when I was thinking it needed to have multiple web servers, multiple web front ends, all that stuff. Really, all you need is every citizen has to be a legal citizen. You have to go through the hoops. And I'm all for making those hoops insanely big and easy to jump through. However, you have to be a citizen to vote in a country's elections. And this goes for every country. Let's see. Wait, there it is. I forgot what I was doing. Um, for every country. Country, not just America. It's important because, this is a kind of one size fits all solution to how to govern a country, not just America, not just the USA. Now we are the champion of democracy, not really. I mean, like there's a lot of other democracies and we're just kind of the loudest, most boisterous, but we were also able to experiment with government and we were able to find that capitalism works out pretty well. It still has its flaws. It definitely does, and we need to work on that. But overall, we have a lot of nice things. I have a very good quality of living. We need to work on fixing some of the things, though, because we're polluting the crud out of the earth and we're destroying it and killing ourselves, and all that's nonsense. But not nonsense, like it's nonsense that we've allowed it to go on. But every citizen gets a unique voter registration. Ah, I've already done this. Nope, number. Every citizen gets a unique, that's important, only one number for each person. Yes, that's millions and millions of numbers, however many citizens you have in that country, except for each county, you could have it unique. So every person in a county gets one unique number, or a state, and you only vote in that state, and then you have to whatever. We could figure that out. We could it's really easy to add to this model. I mean, you could just add more whatever, but every citizen gets a unique voter registration number emailed to them. By the time I find it up at the top, I'm looking at the top and also looking at how to spell it. Emailed to them to an address that is protected, that has multi-factor authentication. That's key. Authentication. Now, almost everybody has a cell phone, almost everybody. But even if they don't have a cell phone, they have other ways. So let's even do that like this can be a shared phone with multiple, a shared phone. There you go, just a shared phone for MFA purposes. So that eliminates any barriers to people participating in this. But at the same time, MFA purposes. There you go. That's it. That's all it is. Now, next page. So it's for every country, not just the USA. Every citizen gets a unique voter registration number emailed to them to an address that has multi-factor authentication. This can be a shared phone for MFA purposes or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of things. The best is really an authenticator app, and it's really easy to use. There's Google Authenticator, there's Duo, there's Salesforce Authenticator, there's like password protector authenticators. Like I mean, Google Authenticator is the easiest, and they all work in very similar ways, and it ensures that the device that you're signed into, that you're registered to, your email, it sees that you're logged into a device, and that device is able to be used as multi-factor authentication or two-step verification, is what Google calls it. So you have to have a phone and you have to have an email, and that means you also have your password for that email. And even if somebody finds out your password or cracks your password or whatever, it doesn't matter unless they have your phone. Now, if they have your phone and your password, then you're kind of sunk. However, if you know your phone's missing, you can report that to the voter place, call them in, whatever. I don't know. There's ways around it. You can claim that you lost your phone or something. There has to be secure processes to ensure that somebody doesn't just call and say, "Hey, my name is A-Rye and I lost my phone. Give me a new voter registration number and let's change it to this email address." You can't do that. In the world of tech, as any IT technician will tell you, password recovery is very protected, and they expect people to try to do that. So, in ways you do that, I remember I worked at one place that required three pieces of information that only they would know, and it was randomized. I could just ask any three questions, and I'd have their employee information pulled up in front of me. So, like, what's your start date? What's your mom's maiden name? Or what was no, really, it'd be like, what's your start date? What's your birthday? Or how long have you been here? Of course, if you know the start date and year, that's kind of a bad second question. I'm trying to remember what else. Oh yeah, your department. Things that would be hard to find out about you, and things that and it's not even that they're correct giving the correct answers. You're listening to them. And if they take time and like and this and they and you can just tell, you can like it's a little sketchy. So especially if they're not speaking, with a good accent. But anyways, I'm kidding. We had facilities all around the world, so it didn't even really matter. I spoke with people with several accents. The Scottish being some of the hardest to understand. All nice people, but anyways. So there's that, and then results are on display on a web server. On a web server. Trying not to let this get too complicated because you need to have the real-time results, and then you need to be able to see um, your vote change as you change it. So results are on display on a web server on a real-time. There you go. So as you change it, it changes. Real-time web server. As you change your vote, your vote as you change your vote, you can see the change. The change listed by your voter. Listed. Next to your, oh, it's getting windy. Voter registration number. Um, let's see. Once polls close, or voting, let's not throw any extra terms in there. Once voting closes, voting ends at a designated time. Ated. See, I'm like borrowing words. Designated time. The web server becomes read-only, which is really easy to switch. Like you just turn off the ability to vote to change. However you coded it to allow changes to happen, you stop that. You just stop them from changing. Let's see. Once voting ends at a designated time, the web server becomes read-only. And that's basically the technical term for it. Read-only means you can't write to it or you can't make changes to it. It becomes read-only. And a hash is taken. Checksum. There you go. Checksum. And it's one word like that. The checksum is taken. That's actually parentheses. Hash. And no, that's not hashish cannabis. That's a hash is a fingerprint or is taken. In fact, we'll explain that in a second. Uh, okay, now on the next page, a checksum is a type of hash that, let's see, a checksum is a type of hash that acts as a fingerprint acts as a fingerprint. Wow, one of the rare times it actually is good to have a that guess my next word, even though I've already started altering the word. All right, so a checksum is a type of hash that acts as a fingerprint for a data set. Set. Actually, I think that is two words for a data set. Okay. Whoops. No. Um, that checksum is emailed to each voter. So it cannot be faked. Every voter has a copy of the checksum. And even then, all it would take is like, okay, this checksum is going to be mailed to one in every 100 people. And then those one in every 100 people could, I don't know, whatever. Emails are cheap. Sorry. Anyways, so the checksum is emailed to each voter to the same email address. There you go. They got their unique number. VRN, the voter registration number. So I've now typed it several times. Okay, that checksum is emailed to each voter, and then there is a grace period for every person to verify. Already I'm seeing a couple of problems with this. So to verify their vote didn't change. Now there's going to be some that said, "Oh yeah, my vote changed," and they're going to try to try to poke holes in this. But at the same time, you can actually record how many times each number changed back and forth, um, and you can even take a screenshot of what it looked like, and so you can basically prove that people are lying, and that unless they intended to vote or they just completely didn't understand what a word means next to their number, like their number. All you got to do, and it's going to be a big number, maybe like 10 digits, maybe even 15. You're going to look at that number, find yours. You can do a control F and do a copy paste of the number you got from your email to find exactly your row. And there should be, okay, let's see. Sorry, I'm getting all the things. I'm trying to think of how it'd be bad. But anyways, a checksum. Okay, so and checksums are commonly used to make sure nobody sneaks a virus or any malicious code into a software download. Like if you're downloading a piece of software, here's the official checksum, and hopefully you got it from a trusted website that they have control of posting that information. They say, "Yes, here's the checksum for our software. If you get something other than this, don't install it because it might have a virus." Might. I mean, it might just be a different version. There could be any number of things. Maybe somebody tacked on their name to it or some other information. And so it changes the fingerprint or the hash that is the checksum, so the checksums won't match up, and then you just don't install that download, and then you get it from somewhere else. So we've been using this to verify, and it has to be exact. Like all the software that you use, if it's not exact, then it could crash your computer. It could be broken. It doesn't work. So there's a big incentive to make sure that this works exactly. Anyway, so then for every person to verify their that, okay, their vote didn't change. Thought I saw some bad word in there, but it was Dido. I was gonna say I didn't type anything like that. Although maybe I don't know. In the PS, like talking to my friends, making jokes and stuff. I don't know. That could be, but all right. Their vote didn't change. Then, if there are discrepancies, it's ease, I believe. They can be amended, and a new checksum taken. Taken slash sent. This process can be repeated, but it's going to continue to filter out and filter out. And at some point, people are just going to be like, you know what? I think you're lying. Like, you're just trying to say that this isn't changing or whatever. I mean, because, like I said, you can take, like, in fact, let's even say that screenshots and short video clips and video clips can be taken and stored uh, with each VRN. It's really not that data heavy, and you could just have a database with all this stuff and have a bunch of admins, bunch of people from both sides, both political parties and even independents, like watching each other. But if you get a room full of computer sciencey people in here, it's not going to take much checking. They'll do a control F, they'll do a count, be like, okay, this many votes for this person, this many votes for this person. Everybody agreed that they're looking at it in live view on a read-only server. Yep, my vote didn't change. Anybody complain? Did their vote change? Okay, your vote changed. What's your voter registration number? Blah blah blah. And of course, this is private communication between the judge or the admin or whatever and that person. Just like a help desk, they'll send in a help ticket and be like, "My vote changed. Okay, your vote with this number changed, and it's going to be recorded." So if you are trying to game the system, your profile is going to come up with your voter registration number. How many times did you claim that your vote changed? Okay, well that's one way to stamp out any kind of trying to cheat. Okay, now, and everybody could get called over to it. All of the admins be like, hey, this person said this, and everybody gets together in huddles, looks at it. They can even live broadcast this stuff. It doesn't matter. All of this ensures that you get one vote, you can see your vote change, and it gets recorded. You have a grace period to check and see if it did change, and then the results are shared all on air, all in live time, and for each county. Now, this could be pretty difficult. But if you consider how much money we already pour into all the printing and counting and paper ballots and all of that, we can save that. Save the trees, save the environment, save the ink, all this. Just do it this way. Cost some electricity and some computers. Got to make sure everybody's at least got access to a phone. And if you don't have one phone between your entire family, then a phone could probably be provided for you. I wanted to be mean and be like, get your act together. But honestly, even in the extreme cases where you can't come up with a phone for, even 5 people, there could be volunteers that let you register with their phone. And so your multi-factor could be with their phone. There's so many ways to easily fix any problems with this, and it would ensure no cheating. None whatsoever. Done. Let's see here. Sorry, my phone is going off. What time is it? Okay, we're almost done with this episode. Sorry. At some point, at some point, I'm going to talk about all this, and it's going to be funny. I've got two really interesting conversations going on. One, potentially really cool, have a honeymoon with someone that I'm not even married to, all that. And the other one is with my landlord. it's not necessarily bad, but I don't want to disrespect anyone by divulging too much information, at least not now. And plus, when you're in the thick of it, it can seem one way or the other. And I've often gone back and been like, you know what, now that I think about it, I feel bad for saying this about this person or that, some reflection. But I've already done that enough times where I know I'm not going to talk smack right now. I'm pretty happy, though, just even thinking about this idea of this, like, honeymoon thing. Anyways, so that's the skinny of it. Um, yeah, that's it. I might add more to it, but that's the point. I mean, just so you don't have to rely on, let's see, watching these videos. I'm going to release this world at some point, and then people can download it, and you can have all this stuff for free. Just have it. Have all this. I mean, it's I'm not doing that much work, and it is a side project that aligns. Sorry, I want to make sure. Okay, and you can run free. I don't have to kill. I mean, like they're not going to stomp crops. Stomp crops. Actually, wait, no. 'Cause I don't think. Let's take you to the llama lounge. So, anyways, my point is we need the most common person with no education, no understanding, no background in any of this to be able to understand it. It has to be that simple and that easy to prove or disprove. Like, I make no assumptions. Like, I know there are probably going to be people trying to cheat, and so I have to account for that. That's the computer scientist mindset. And actually, that's more the cybersecurity mindset, but the fact that you need to account for any situation, like a cat walking across the keyboard, that's one of the favorite things among computer science scientists and programmers. Because what if a user inputs just this ridiculous string of numbers, letters, and you don't handle that? Your code will crash. It'll just break. And the computer will freeze, it'll lock up, you'll have to restart, and then you have to start all over with whatever process you were trying to accomplish or whatever thing you were trying to do. You have to start from scratch. So start building up all the data, get the user input, blah, blah, blah. And you learn all this when you learn defensive programming or thinking about how can this go wrong and then prevent it. Like even if a user typed in a swear word or something or a racial slur, then you could even put out a message be like, hey, that's not cool, don't do that, and then handle it or whatever. But and a cat walking across the keyboard, that really is more, um, do I have a block? Let me get the block. Because we use these things. Okay. Now come on. Oh no, whoa, 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 whoa. What the heck? They like raced out of here. Nope. Alright, come on down here. Okay, we have some hay bales. Let's make some baby llamas first. Oh, there we go. And now you, and you two. Let's do two. We have little baby llamas. Where's the little baby llamas? One baby llama, two baby llamas. Look at that. That's so cute. Alright. I got some experience, and now I'm running, and trapping them back down here. I could build this a much better way, and I intend to. But for now, it's more humane than just killing them, and it's a game at the end of the day. So, apologies if that offends you. It's not my intent. Alright. Look at that magnificent Acropolis, or a tribute to the Acropolis. And I want to go back and like write down notes about all the famous art that I've studied and all the, I bought textbook after textbook and taken class after class. I don't remember any of it by name. I mean, the most famous stuff, sure, but if you're not actively engaging with that stuff on a regular basis or like talking about it, then it's kind of hard to remember a bunch of stuff. Same with classical music, or even modern music for that matter. If I don't listen to it like 1,000 times, chances are I'm not going to remember much past the artist, even if that. I mean, maybe the name of it. So, anyways. Uh, so yeah, as we grow to a close on this episode, clear and transparent voting. And that's good for every country. I think it can be generally agreed upon, especially in communist countries, where it's for each person and equality and fairness. That's the same as democracy. Every person should have an equal say in what goes on. Every person should be fair, and treated with kindness and respect. respect to be trusted to make adult decisions when they're adults too. We could even talk about that too because the prefrontal cortex doesn't fully develop until your mid to late 20s, which could throw a wrench in things. However, if you also make it trendy to have facts out in the open and good discussion and debate too. I've been working really hard on a lot of XAP discussions because once you start talking to people and get past the emotions, they start to make a lot of sense, and then you can actually kind of come to a conclusion, be like, okay, let's agree on this, and then the emotions not muddying up the waters. I love that in Better Call Saul, muddying the waters. All right, that's it for now. Ta ta. Hope you enjoyed some clear and transparent voting. It's a nice breath of fresh air away from the religion, because honestly, that is so stressful and so just tiresome. Because it could be a good thing. I know. All right, ta ta for now. I will see you in the next one.